It seems like it's getting too late for those who are involved. For the people who have been afraid to speak out because the dealer has been getting away with things. Everyone who was hurt needs to come forward now. But let's not be coy with the people who have been denying it. I'm Jabba. You know that. Let's leave it at a buck. Keep it a bean. Jaguar Wright is back with shocking news that could shake the music business to its core. In a new interview, she talks about famous people like Jay-Z and Diddy, implying that they may soon be in major legal trouble. But what are these shocking accusations, and why does Jaguar think the judge will eventually charge Jay-Z and Diddy together? Should I keep going? I mean, you seem to get along. Jay-Z needs to be charged. Kyle needs to be punished. Jaguar Wright doesn't hold back. She says that many of the crimes that Jay-Z and his famous friends, like Diddy, have been involved in have been ignored for far too long. The question is how serious these claims are, and what will the judge find out during the court case? He's better. But that's the only thing I want to hear him talk about. Jaguar says that Jay-Z has done bad things in areas other than business. She makes hints about psychological abuse and mistreatment, suggesting that there are victims who have been afraid to speak out for years. She says it will only be a matter of time before the truth comes out. So what happens to a rat that gets stuck in a hot place? Oh, it can eat anything. Claw can eat anything. Now I want you all to picture this. He was on his back and I could see his stomach. One of the scariest things Jaguar says is that Jay-Z and Diddy have been working with the government for years to avoid being charged. But she thinks that the judge in charge of the case will finally find out the truth as more victims and witnesses come forward. He was asked questions. Jaguar brings up the famous club shooting in 1999 that involved Diddy and Jennifer Lopez, who was dating Diddy at the time. She says Lopez lied to the police during the investigation and says that if the case is restarted, it could have very bad effects on both Lopez and Diddy. And I know that it was him, Diddy, you and Jay-Z. In Las Vegas, Claudia and I went to Tao. Just talk about Kathy, please. That could be useful. That could be very helpful. Oh, okay. People who don't know who Kathy is, I was going to say. White Kathy Coriana is Jay-Z's pregnant lover, who died 24 hours after she told everyone she was going public. Jaguar says that the strange case of Kathy White, who she says was Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, is one of her most shocking claims. Jaguar says that this tragedy has been quietly swept under the rug. However, she thinks that the judge will now look into it and see if it has any links to the bigger plot. I told you. As the U.S. attorney talked about the charges, Jaguar says things are going to get really interesting soon. All of those rats are going to tell on each other. That's when Diddy and Jay-Z will fall. They can only run for so long. Sean P. Combs is a bad person. Looking forward to seeing it. Would you like a woman to decide this case? That sounds lovely. Jaguar Wright thinks that justice is coming soon. As more claims are made and more victims find the courage to speak out, she is sure that both Jay-Z and Diddy will be charged with major crimes. Things aren't different with him. He set up D. Haven and stole his life and name. He set up Big L and stole his name and life. He got Dame Dash ready. The Jaguar brand says that Jay-Z has a long history of using people around him to get what he wants. She says that he often sets people up and betrays close friends and business partners for his own benefit. Jaguar says this is all part of a much bigger game Jay-Z has been putting on for decades. It is said, Sean Carter is to blame for getting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a broken-down plane to get her out of the way as a penalty for turning him down. One shocking thing Jaguar says is that Jay-Z was responsible for Aaliyah's sad death, saying that her refusal to be with him caused her to die too soon. Jaguar says this accusation connects Jay-Z to a larger web of power and manipulation that goes beyond the music business. She says that the Aaliyah thing was part of Jay-Z's plan to help Beyoncé's business when it was having a hard time. Even though these claims are still just that speculation, Jaguar says this is just one example of how Jay-Z has acted in a cruel way to stay on top. People like Mary J. Blige, who was raped by Sean Combs, are talking about Aaliyah's death. Between each other. Take a look at that. One person was a Diddy fan, one was a Jay-Z fan, and one was a celebrity. They know what took place, thank God. Even though they knew who did it, they had to talk about it like they didn't know. She says that guys with a lot of power, like Jay-Z and Diddy, have made it so that victims can't speak out, and even other famous people have to defend them. She talks about times when women in the business, like Mary J. Blige, have had to talk about deaths like Aaliyah's in public without telling the truth about what happened. You can't go to the police because they've all been bought and paid for. If you try to get a special investigator, they'll just pay someone to move him to another case. Jaguar says that people with a lot of power, like Jay-Z and Diddy XR, have power in more than just the music business. She says they may be connected in ways that make it nearly impossible to control the music, making it possible for victims to get justice. She says that people who try to bring these strong people to light run into problems at every turn, whether it's corrupt police or prosecutors who have been given other cases. That's when I look at Beyoncé when you say things like Jay-Z's time is coming. It's true that women do have a Jaguar says that Jay-Z can control even Beyoncé, who is one of the most powerful women in show business. She says that Jay-Z's control over her work and the way people see her, including the changes in her music recently, are direct results of his influence. Jaguar writes that the claims are strong and damning, but they show that the music business is deeply corrupt. Jaguar thinks that the judge in charge of these cases will finally reveal the truth, even if the accusations range from psychological abuse to possible participation in strange tragedies. Jaguar talks about the strange death of Kathy White, who was said to be Jay-Z's mistress and who died soon after telling everyone she was pregnant. Jaguar makes it sound like this wasn't a natural event, but rather a part of a bigger plan to silence people who might hurt Jay-Z's image. Jaguar makes it sound like this could be another important piece of evidence in Jay-Z's web of lies if the judge is willing to look into it further. The Kathy White case could be looked into again, which would show a darker side of Jay-Z's carefully managed public image. Not letting me come in. I want to ask you something because I am looking at a Gabriel union. Jaguar says that both Jay-Z and Diddy will fail in the end. She says that the fact that they have worked with the government in the past won't help them this time. Jaguar says the judge will be able to see through the lies and tricks that have been used to keep them safe for years. One thing is for sure, only time will tell. The world is watching Jaguar Wright, and she isn't giving up. Leave a message with what you think. Wait for more.